last time that I'm going to be in this car that I bought over 2 years ago. And so I thought I'd make a couple of videos. You've seen these car air fresheners all over. And I wouldn't...
All right. I downloaded their video because they didn't have a stitch option on, probably because they've just received a lot of negative feedback. But go find their channel, maybe go buy one of their air fresheners and get that to support them. And I'm going to use this as an opportunity to say that Etsy sellers, people that make stuff, and resellers have kind of a similar problem when it comes to selling online, and that's the Amazon effect. So if you don't know, part of the Amazon effect is this phenomenon that's come around. I say phenomenon, but it's really not, but where people expect certain things out of the online marketplace. Now, in general conversation, people will tell you all day they say support small business, but they really don't. They support Amazon, and they think that's small business because they know that they're sellers on Amazon and assume that that's small business. That is a channel for some small businesses, but the requirements to get into online selling through Amazon and the amount of money you lose in doing so, it doesn't make it worth it to do. So what is the Amazon effect we're talking about here? Well, one, Amazon's a monopoly, right? Because most people, they go to Amazon. If they can't find it there, they don't bother shopping anywhere else. So in addition to customers getting screwed, as I've talked about in a previous video on this channel, there's also the issue of, sellers having a problem with buyers. I do eBay reselling. I had looked into selling products through Amazon, but it just was not worth doing because of the fees and the gating and all of that. You don't know what gating is. I'll be glad to explain that in a different video. But essentially, I run into on a daily basis the rudest customers because Amazon has prepped them for a marketplace that only exists on Amazon because anywhere else it doesn't. And if you're not willing to bend to that, you lose a customer. And I will forfeit a customer because I do not have the vast sums of money Amazon does to lose just to keep a customer happy. And realistically, when it comes to resell, I have very few repeat buyers, not because of things I'm doing. I know a lot of people are going to go, well, it's because you're rude. No, it's because I'm not selling products in vast quantities like Amazon does. I'm a reseller. That means I find niche products, I sell them at a fair price or at fair market value, and I also make deals. I've tried selling cosmetics from wholesale, and the reason that's failed is because people are expecting things like a tube of lipstick for $3 with free shipping. I can't ship that. I don't have my own distribution network, and that's the problem. The minimum cost to ship right now, as of making this video for me, is about $4. That's if I lose part of my discount that I get on shipping, which most resellers rely on to make some money off of. Resellers get hit on almost everything. Now, Mercari, and I'm trying them again because I've had mixed results with Mercari. Mercari has reduced seller fees to 0 at this point, which is really interesting. I'm not sure how Mercari is going to make money, but I'm trying it out with them. But the minimum that I can ship something for is about $4. That's it. So even though I may have got a tube of lipstick for $1.50, right, or even $1, to send it to you with free shipping, I'm not making any money. So I'm not going to sell that product, which means Amazon has that market cornered because they'll eat the shipping on small stuff like that. Customers don't want to pay for shipping. Even though the average customer does not understand, they still pay for shipping. So when you see an item at $7, keep in mind it's probably actually $3 is what the price is, but $4 that is shipping. That's how all that works. That's how it's always worked. But I can't, and most resellers, we can't sell you products at a loss and still stay afloat. As it is, most resellers are making very little in return on what they're buying. So, I'm making 50 to 75 cents on most items. I have a few nice items that make it out. By nice, I don't mean like expensive. I mean like items that sell for a good amount of return that kind of make up those gaps. But at this point, to be a reseller, we're having to sell it apart. If you guys are wondering why used t-shirts are going for $10 online or $18 online, it's multiple factors. Some are collectibles. But again, for a used t-shirt, if we're getting those used in good condition and we're paying $4 for it and $4 is going to be shipping, the other two coming out of that has got to be some sort of profit. And keep in mind, us as resellers and other people that make goods like on Etsy, there's fees, taxes, shipping. All of that comes out of our piece of the pie. And I know most customers are like, well, that's your problem. You want the item there reliably, right? You want the item to get to you in one piece. You expect to have tracking. You expect all these extras that are now standard, but you don't want to pay for it. and it's got to come from someplace. And small business owners, me, Etsy sellers, people that handcraft things, we're not trying to cheat you. There is a certain cost to doing business that we have to abide by. For people like the woman that I copied her video over, you should be supporting her, because the more of those products are supported, the better off we'll all be. Cheap Chinese-made products that don't last and can be dangerous because of how they're made, because they cut corners, are not better for you. If you really want to support, as most people say, buy American, support American, look for homegrown sellers, not factories. Homegrown sellers making good products, including clothing. There are plenty of people selling clothing online you should be buying from. There are plenty of people that do their own screen printing for shirts that are not these massive businesses, but are local and are family ran, trying to make it. Please support those businesses. And with resellers, I know a lot of people are talking about scalpers and stuff. You can quickly tell the difference between a scalper and a reseller. Look at what they're selling, look at the price, start looking at sold comps, and see. Actual resellers will cut you a deal. Actual resellers will work with you. That's not just me. That is a lot of resellers who do YouTube channels talking about reselling. So I'm going to cut here, as this video is already pretty long. I'm trying to keep them below 5 minutes. Failed on this one. But if you guys have any questions about any of this, please let me know. I'd be glad to answer them for you, as I think that can help the reselling community. If you're a reseller, feel free to leave your comments on what frustrates you and how hard it is to make money and why you're doing it, even though it is hard. Thanks, guys.